I want to thank everybody for the tremendous support you've shown. We're going to take back the Senate, take back the House. We're going to take back the White House, and sooner than you think. It's going to be really something special. But the love and the affection and the respect that you've given all of us, it's really important. The Republican Party is stronger than it's ever been, and it's going to be a lot stronger than it is right now. We're going to turn it around. We're going to turn it around fast. Thank you all very much. That support has been so incredible. Thank you.
Your voice. Remember, I am not the one trying to undermine American democracy. I'm the one that's trying to save it. Please remember that. Thank you. And then we had this horrible thing come in from China, and we got that one right too, by the way. Do you notice? You see what's going on over the last? It's called the lab. That was an easy one, Wuhan. But you had this horrible problem come in, and like without a border, you cannot have a nation. Certainly, not a great nation. We fight for other countries' borders, but we don't fight for our own border. Think of it. We fight for other countries' borders, but not for our own. That changed under my administration, but now they're going back more rapidly than anyone ever thought possible. Nobody ever thought that they could do this kind of destruction to our country so quickly. Some of those executive orders that are signed are absolutely insane. And do you ever notice when he had a hard time going up the stairs on the plane? Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks. The news didn't cover it. Not one network covered it. Now, when I made the best speech I've ever made, they said was at West Point. And it was pouring. And I had a ramp. There was a nice skating rink. And I said to the general, I said, General, I may have to grab you because the last thing I'm doing is going down. So I walked gingerly down. That was on every newscast in the world, and I never went down either. I never went on my ass, I'll tell you. I wasn't going to fall. I think that was a booby trap. I'll never forget that ramp. That was like a sheet of ice. It was cold, rainy, and that ramp was long and steep. I said, General, I might have to grab you, but I'm not going down under. And unfortunately, I wasn't wearing American shoes. I had Italian shoes, nice leather. Leather. It's like an ice skating rink. But they made that a big story, but they didn't make the Biden fall. The triple fall. I call it the triple fall. I'd visit soldiers at Walter Reed Hospital where the doctors are truly fantastic what they can do. But I'd see these young people that were just blown to pieces, and it's so sad. I'd be at Dover where these magnificent machines would come in, the big cargo planes, and that door would open up and there'd be a coffin in the back. And the military, the soldiers would take that coffin and walk it off the plane. And I'd be with the parents an hour before and we'd be talking. And I'd say to the general in charge, General, the parents seem to be okay. And he'd say, no, they're not, sir. They're not okay. I said, General, I'm having a great conversation. And the mothers oftentimes would say, oh, my son was such a great football player. Sir, he had an arm that was so powerful. He was so strong. And he could throw a ball so far. He was such a good player, or other things. They tell me these stories about, they just were so in love with telling the stories about their son or their daughter. In some cases, their daughter. And then I'd look at the general and say, well, it's amazing the way they can handle it. And then the plane would come in and the general would say, sir, it's not going to be good. And that door would open up, that big back door, right, would open up from this incredible, powerful machine that can lift up army tanks like it's nothing. And it would open up and there'd be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 coffins. And I'd see the same people that were talking to me so jubilant about their child, how great the child was, would start screaming, screams like I've never heard before. It was the most terrible thing to watch. And the general in charge would say, sir, you're going to see things that you maybe will not have seen. Like what, General? I said, mothers and wives and even fathers sometimes breaking through the military ranks and jumping on top of the coffin. And I got to see that one time where a mother was just, she was just absolutely, she was devastated. She jumped on, and these incredible, extremely fit soldiers are taking that coffin and would jump onto the coffin, and they would just keep walking. They wouldn't do a thing. They would just keep walking. And the mother was on the coffin, and this is for Afghanistan and for Iraq and for these other places where so many mistakes were made, where we shouldn't be, and we can't do that. And we're moving them out. We're moving them back. 21 years, you know, you've heard 19 years, but it's not 19. Now it's 21 years in Afghanistan. It's enough. And we haven't lost a soldier in Afghanistan since January of last year. We haven't lost a soldier. Not one single soldier has been lost. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. So it's hard to believe the records the Biden administration is doing, and I'm very glad that he's continuing to move them out. I think it would be very hard to stop, to be honest. I think, frankly, stopping would be very, very hard. But so I'm very honored by the fact that they're continuing to bring those soldiers home where they belong. Your voice. Remember, I am not the one trying to undermine American democracy. I'm the one that's trying to save it. Please remember that. Thank you.